Now can you hear me? Oh, मैम को क्या हो गया? मैम की आवाज गायब, चले गो अच्छे, right? Gone with the wind, but back again. Okay, so in a world of technology, obviously you will have technical glitches, right? So now that I'm back and my voice is back, I would once again want to welcome you to the class, okay? And on this cold morning, which I find is a blessing, that it will keep you in your place, it will keep you focused, it will help you to understand what you have come to understand. It will help you to retain what is so important to be retained. And as we move along, you can also share your learnings. Not everything can come on this board, but yes, so many minds coming together can definitely improvise many other people's answers. So it's like a big sharing learning group, okay? The points that I have written, I shared with you yesterday on the Tempest are from the Tempest, okay? So when we are learning the points from the Tempest, everything around it will be relevant. Most of the points that I shared here yesterday with you have relevance directly to your course play. So I hope that it all helps you, but with that, let's start. Okay. Let's go on to the important points of Act 5. Act 5 is the concluding point. Just everything that Prospero has done, all his hard work, all his efforts, all his spirits, all of Ariel's pageantry and everything that he creates around it should ultimately come full circle. उसके जितना मेहनत है, उसका जितना effort है, वो सब का सब को conclusion मिलना चाहिए. और क्योंकि Prospero is a master planner, तो कोई वजह नहीं कि उसके plans में गड़बड़ हो. हर जगह Prospero और Ariel होते हैं अपने plans को देखने के लिए कि वो plans आगे जा रहे हैं कि नहीं जा रहे हैं. Ariel fills description with pitiable words and tells us that prisoners are in the Lion Grove and under a trance. Okay. Yes. So what had we will come to that point also when we will talk about Ariel. Okay? Because Ariel is also a very, very important character. Ariel is the vehicle. You can actually call him the vehicle. Ariel is the vehicle, metaphorically speaking, who carries out all the work. So without Ariel, Prospero is also nothing. Okay? Right. Let's begin. The scene opens. Prospero is reviewing the report of how his plans are progressing. Prospero and Ariel have a private moment. What do you understand by private moment? They are discussing. They are taking a review. अच्छा ये हो गया, अच्छा ये करना बाकी है, अच्छा वहाँ पे वो लोग कैसे हैं, उनको कैसे आपने deal किया है. All these things are happening here when both of them talk and discuss how to go about their plans. And there is one thing also that I want you to pay attention to when you read the text for the last time. When you read the text for the last time, you will understand that every time either Ariel reminds Prospero that he has to be set free, or then Prospero is giving Ariel the hope and the promise and that his word that he is going to release Ariel. Very soon Ariel shall taste freedom. Very soon Ariel shall be the spirit free in the air to do as he wishes. These are the kinds of encouragements that Prospero gives. And these are the kinds of encouragements that make Ariel enthusiastic and zealous. So Ariel is working on encouragement. And directly the opposite of it, Caliban is working on threat. महावीर जी, what you have to understand is that वो पूरा का पूरा प्ले जो है अंग्रेजी में है, आपको लिखना भी अंग्रेजी में ही पड़ेगा, ठीक है? तो हम कोशिश करेंगे कि थोड़ी सी हिंदी जरूर बीच में बोल दें, ओके? Right. Ariel tells Prospero. So after that, what happens? Ariel reports or tells Prospero that the nobles stand frozen and motionless just as Prospero had left them. Right? So Prospero had last seen them freezing into their positions, being forced not to move, being forced not to be able to think anything else, not to talk, not to hear, but only to reflect inwards. कि वो अपने अंदर अपनी अंतरात्मा में झांकें. ऐसे कंडीशन में उनको प्रोस्पेरो और एरियल छोड़ देते हैं थोड़ी देर के लिए, कि वो मूर्ति की तरह से अपने अंतरात्मा को समझ रहे हैं. And they are trying to learn from their past. So it is a kind of self-reflective state that they have been left in. Ariel tells Prospero that the nobles stand frozen and motionless, just as Prospero had left them. He tells Prospero that they all stand in saddened postures with even sadder expressions. Let's pay attention to all this. Ariel is convinced, Ariel उनको मिल के आ रहा है, Ariel convinced है कि अब they are actually feeling very, very bad for all that they have done. The troubles and the worries and the problems that they have faced on the island are leading them to realize finally that they are not undefeatable, that they will also face their karma, and that they will also be brought to justice. There's always a very high probability of Prospero's epilogue coming, and at the same time, I would suggest that even if the epilogue doesn't come, you can give reference to that. Okay? And we are going to do this. आज हम इसको करेंगे. So, he tells Prospero that they are all standing in saddened postures with even sadder expressions, unable to move or speak, largely focused on their guilt. Now pay attention here. This is very, very important. Why were they made to stand like that, like statues? Unable to move or speak, largely focused on their guilt and wrongdoings, clearly feeling penitent. Penitent is another word for remorseful. All right? Penitent is another word for remorseful. Prospero is told that Gonzalo is most affected. Prospero is told that Gonzalo is most affected by all the events, and tears flow down his beard like droplets in a stream. Yes. So, Gonzalo is crying at the condition of sinners. Gonzalo is crying for everybody. Gonzalo is a compassionate man. He easily reflects the sadness, the happiness. He is like a mirror. एकदम से वो हर किसी की खुशी को भी हाईलाइट करता है, हर किसी के ब्लेम्स को भी हाईलाइट करने लगता है. गोंजालो क्यों? क्योंकि जब आप दूर से खड़े होके, now please understand the philosophy behind it. When you are not directly involved in something, in a sin, then you are able to see from a distance the complete picture. And Gonzalo is with them, but not a sinner like them. Therefore, his heart cries for the fact that they are all suffering. His heart cries that Alonso has lost his son. His heart cries because he knows that where is all this coming from? What is the root cause of all this suffering? The root cause of all the suffering lay 12 years back when they all started sinning full blown. Okay? Yes, that is why he's called the good old Lord Gonzalo. He is like a reflective mirror. जब सब लोग खुश होने लगते हैं तो वो भी खुश हो जाता है. Right? When he is able to see that all this trouble was not like that. Probably it was destined that Miranda in her childhood may lose being a princess for some time, but will end up being the queen of not one, but two mighty kingdoms. Right? So, that is how Gonzalo. So, Prospero is told that the old Lord Gonzalo is most affected by the events, and tears flow down his beard like droplets in a stream. You can very easily write that Gonzalo mirrors everything that happens because he has been witnessing it from a distance. So, it's a very important point. You may please write that. Prospero is satisfied to know that he is close to reaching his goals. He commands Ariel to release them of the spell and the spell he had cast on them. Now, what is a spell? Spell, charm, ये words use होते हैं, magic. ये सब क्या है? गिली गिली छू. These are just one words for that word, गिली गिली छू. So, the charm, spells and magic, all these things are one of the same thing. अब ये spell spelling नहीं है. यहाँ पर ये spell spelling नहीं है. It is a spell. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Very well. Welcome then, welcome. Right. So Prospero is satisfied to know that he is close to reaching his goals. He commands Ariel to release them from the spell. Which spell? The charm that had converted them to statues. The charm that will not allow them to think of anything else except their ill deeds of the past. So, and the spell he had cast on them. When Ariel goes, that is when Prospero delivers a soliloquy. What is a soliloquy? Soliloquy is not your loki bhindi turai. Soliloquy actually refers to a dialogue that is spoken. तो वो तो monologue भी होता है. तो monologue और dialogue और soliloquy में क्या फर्क है? ये फर्क समझना जरूरी है. यहाँ पे वो soliloquy कहता है और वहाँ पे monologue है. They are all spoken by a single person, delivered by a single person when a person is all alone on a stage and all alone addressing something. Then it becomes a soliloquy. Okay, and what does he do here? He expresses all his thanks, all his gratitude, all his thankfulness to the spirits who have helped him survive the ordeals of the island, to the spirits who have helped him in putting up so many different acts, in the spirits who have helped him to control and present themselves as obedient and cooperative. उन सब spirits को, fairies को, pixies को, goons को, उन सब को वो from the bottom of his heart he says thank you. और ये कौन से हैं? वो जो कि mountains पे रहते हैं, the ones that are on the mountains and the meadows and the grassy fields up there. The ones who come out only in the night to dance in the moonlight, where the ewes, where the female sheep will not tread. Those who run after Neptune, who run pushing the waves back into the ocean, and when the waves come out again, then they run on the beach and push them back again. So he refers to different supernatural beings from different parts of the island and thanks them from the bottom of his heart. He also commits to them that he has till now had the power to call thunders, to set the skies azure blue. जब उसके अंदर इतनी ताकत है कि वो जब चाहे आसमान को नीला कर दे, जब चाहे तो वो थंडर स्टॉर्म्स लेके आ सकता है, लाइटनिंग उसके कमांड के ऊपर काम करती है. But he will now give up everything. This is a very important soliloquy because here he declares and he thanks. The soliloquy tells of his gratitude. He delivers his thanks and he declares he will give up magic along with his magical books and staff. Staff, his magical wand, the huge big wand that he uses for his magic. While expressing thanks to the spirits, Prospero nurtures the feelings of arrogance about his power. Well, he does not nurture, but yes, I don't think he nurtures arrogance, but he tries to tell them that despite all the capacity I have, it is now time to put an end to it so that he does not use it for arrogance. He has all these creatures and his magic, supernatural beings and his magic have helped him because he needed it. But he does not want to convert his magic to be used for petty and arrogant ends. Okay? So, I'll explain the soliloquy again. If you want, I will take it up with you and I will tell you what the soliloquy means. Very quickly, we can go through the soliloquy. All right. So this is Act 5 and near around lines 35, I will very quickly explain the soliloquy to you once again. Yes, so very quickly let's go through the words of the soliloquy. So while Ariel goes to fetch the lords, this is what Prospero is all alone on the stage. एक चीज का हम लोग हमेशा ध्यान रखेंगे कि शेक्सपियर ने स्टोरीज नहीं ड्रामा लिखे थे. किसके लिए? क्योंकि वो ड्रामा को स्टेज के ऊपर इनैक्ट करने के लिए. Alright, these had to be performed on the stage. So now Ariel is alone, Prospero is alone on the stage. And I read, "Yet elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets, that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the yew not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid weak masters, though ye be, I have bedimmed." Now let's understand who are the people who are the creatures he thanks. The spirits rather. "Ye elves of hills, the little fairies of the hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves. Brooks, waterfalls, rivulets that flow out of the mountains are called brooks. Standing lakes, calm, placid lakes, and groves. Groves, orchards, and trees. Any ye on sands, and ye that on sands of printless foot do chase the ebbing moon. And you who are on the beaches, chasing away the waves back into the ocean, and do fly them when he comes back. Fly them, drive them back. You demi-puppets, again, spirits, that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites, that you who dance around in the moonlight, making tracks on the grassland, where the sheep will not go out and disturb you in the night. You is female sheep. And you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms. So midnight mushrooms, again, mushrooms are considered to pop out in the night, and they are generally found in the wilderness. Again and again, he is referring to places where humans will not venture much. इन जगहों पे human beings का footfall कम होता है. Okay? So, by whose aid weak masters though ye be, but by whose aid, by whose help, although you are weak masters, although you are not very powerful, but by your help, what has he done? He is trying to tell them all the things he had done with the help of these seemingly weak spirits. Okay? I have bedimmed the moontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and assured vault set roaring war. Well, called forth the mutinous winds, the stormy winds, the typhoonic winds. Okay? Twixt the green sea and assured vault, between the green sea and bright blue sky. So what is he trying to say? With your help, I have raised powerful storms. The whole thing means these. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire and rifted Joe's stout oak with his own bolt. He says, it is with your help that I have manifested, brought to life, big, powerful bolts of thunder. The strong-based promontory have I shake, and by spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and let them forth by my so potent art. He says, it is only with your help that my art has received the potency, the power enough to wake up the dead from sleeping, to create earthquakes, and so on and so forth. But this rough magic I here abjure. But now he says, I will give up this powerful and dangerous magic. So rough over here also refers to dangerously powerful. Okay? Dangerously powerful. But this rough magic I here abjure. Abjure means to give up. मैं त्याग रहा हूँ. And when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do to work my end upon their senses, that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff. He says, and you know, I have always loved the beautiful music you all have created for me. And at this moment, I think I really need that music. So he's requesting that, ki music chalu rakho, please. Okay? I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth. Bury it miles down inside the earth. Staff, he's referring to his magic wand, the huge magic staff that he uses. Bury it under certain fathoms of the earth, deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. And he says, I shall throw my book into the deepest trenches of the sea. And plummet is the sound of falling. जब पानी के अंदर कुछ गुड़ुप से गिरता है उसको plummeting भी कहा जाता है, right? So that is what this particular soliloquy is. It is a declaration of his deepest gratitude. It is a confession that without them, all that he was possible to do, he could be the greatest magician on this earth forever, but only because of them. And now that he wants to live a life of his future as a future normal human being, he is going to release them. He will also sacrifice, give up his, not sacrifice, but yes, by choice, give up his magical abilities so that he can live a life of normalcy. Now, if we look into the background, why did he lose his kingdom? He lost his kingdom because of the addiction he had to magic and its potency. शुरू में ही हमें बताया गया है कि अगर उसने अपने किंगडम पे ध्यान दिया होता, वो खुद ही कहता है अगर मैंने अपने किंगडम पे ध्यान दिया होता तो हम आज यहाँ इस डेसोलेट आइलैंड पे ना पड़े होते. So now he wants to pay all his attention to his kingdom. Therefore, he must give up one powerful thing to take up another powerful thing. All right? You can't run two, three, four, six powerful things together like nowadays. Nowadays is different. Okay? Yes, you've put it correctly in the words very well. He is now renouncing magic to get into his dukedom. Magic was the cause. Let us remember that magic was the cause of his exile. Magic was the cause that he was betrayed because he was addicted too deep into his studies. He should have taken care of his kingdom. He was loved, but he was not taking care on a daily basis. Now he will take care of the kingdom. Only after he has given up one thing can he take up another thing. Right? So can we move ahead? कौन से If you want me to tell you to be selective, अगर आप ये चाहते हैं कि मैं आपको बताऊं कि आप कितना सिलेक्टिव हो जाइए, मैं क्या करूं और क्या छोड़ दूं, तो मैं आपसे सिर्फ इतना ही कहूंगी that at least 4 stories should be on your fingertips, 4 poems should be on your fingertips. Okay? आप एक छोड़ सकते हैं उसको भी, लेकिन completely मत छोड़ देना. Don't become Prospero, who left his kingdom for magic. So look into it, but try to master 4. All right, so can we move ahead? We've done the soliloquy. Okay. Now let's pay attention what happens later. Prospero first embraces Gonzalo. Now let me keep telling you the storyline. Prospero first, जब ये लोग होश में आना शुरू होते हैं, when they start coming back to their senses, when the charms are lifting off and they become a little aware of what is happening around, it's just like coming out of anesthesia. That's what's happening to them at the moment. So the first person he embraces is Gonzalo, because Gonzalo has given him his life. Had it not been for Gonzalo, he would have perished at sea. So everything begins with our life and ends with our life. Therefore, Gonzalo is actually the one who gave him his second birth, who also gave a second life to his daughter. So Gonzalo is the first person he embraces, all right? Then addresses Alonso. Then he pays attention to Alonso and telling him of losing his daughter as well. Alonso is, at the moment, what is he doing? He's mourning the death of a son. Alonso is very sure that his son has died. He tried to kill the Duke of Milan and his daughter, and that's why now fate has taken away his son from him. So his bad karma has come back to attack him. So now this is a very cunning use of words. Actually, Prospero has lost his daughter in marriage, not lost his daughter to death. So he has already promised his daughter to Ferdinand, therefore he has given away his daughter in marriage. That is what he is saying here, but in a very cunning manner. जिसको अलोंजो समझ रहा है कि जैसे मेरा बेटा मर गया है, वैसे इसकी भी बेटी नहीं बची. Okay? Okay. Darling, it's all there in front of you. Why don't you just take a screenshot and help yourself? Okay. Alonso begs forgiveness and is beyond consolation after realizing the damage that he had done to Prospero. अब इसका देखो नतीजा क्या होता है? He begs for forgiveness. Alonso has been brought to a low point. He has been brought down to his knees. His arrogance has been broken. Right? His cleverness has been taught a lesson. Now that his arrogance is broken, now that his aggressiveness has been broken, he has fallen to his knees and he realizes and repents and thus begs for forgiveness and is beyond consolation. There is nothing that seems to be helping him in his sorrow. After realizing what damage he has done to Prospero also. उसने अपना तो नुकसान करवाया ही, साथ में Prospero का भी बहुत नुकसान करवाया. That is what he's thinking. Prospero addresses, after this, what does Prospero do? Okay. Prospero addresses Antonio and Sebastian, telling that he knows of all their evil intentions, but shall divulge nothing as long as they live righteously. So Prospero is not sparing them. Prospero unko, he does not let go the matter. He wants to bring them to justice. Ultimately, he has done all this to bring them to justice. वो उनको एक नसीहत के साथ छोड़ता है. He leaves them with a lesson and a warning. He tells them, till the time you behave yourself, I will keep quiet about your conspiracies. I will keep quiet about your evil plans. And that is the condition he puts in front of them before forgiving them and before reconciling with them. He gives them a warning. Let's read it again. Prospero addresses Antonio and Sebastian, telling them that he knows their evil intentions, but shall divulge nothing as long as they live righteously, as long as they behave themselves. Right? Can you please solve one guest paper on YouTube? I shall try, darling. Can't be very sure, but yes, I shall try. Okay. Ariel leads Boatswain to the scene. अब इसके बाद क्या हो रहा है? Boatswain भी आ रहा है. Ariel leads Boatswain to the scene and the atmosphere begins to change. All of a sudden, from extreme sadness, loss, dejection, despair, anger, repentance, things have started to lift. The moment forgiveness starts coming in, everything starts to heal. See how Shakespeare has put it in. I want you to pay attention to these words again. The words I shall repeat for you are that the moment forgiveness and kindness falls into the scene, anger, aggression, annoyance, revenge, conspiracy, everything seems to be soothing out. जैसे कि हर चीज पे मरहम लगने लग गया हो. And everybody's spirits begin to lift. That is the power of forgiveness that Shakespeare wanted to convey. Ariel leads Boatswain to the scene and the atmosphere begins to change for, let's read the complete line, for the better. as he informs the lords that the ships are in more than perfect condition. All crew members are safely rejoicing with the captain. उनको और अच्छी खबर मिलती है, जैसे forgiveness आती है, जैसे कोई क्षमा मांगता है और कोई क्षमा देता है, वैसे ही चीजें अपने आप ठीक होने लगती हैं, अच्छी खबर आने लगती है. यही boatswain is signifying that. The appearance of boatswain on the scene signifies this. We know that boatswain will be safe, but his coming on the scene at that particular moment, bringing in good news, tells us that to forgive and to ask for forgiveness are both relieving and uplifting. The better, everything is becoming better as he informs the lords that the ships are in more than perfect condition. पहले से भी अच्छी condition में ships हैं. All crew members are safely rejoicing with the captain. Then what does he do? Prospero leads them to his cell, and Alonso is reunited with his son. और खुशी का माहौल शुरू हुआ तो खुशी का माहौल बढ़ता जा रहा है और बढ़ता ही जा रहा है. All right? This is Act 5. Remember, every kind of effort is paying off. Just the way all the effort you are putting into your studies will ultimately pay off like Act 5. Prospero leads them to his cell, and Alonso is reunited with his son. Alonso consents to the wedding, and Ariel drives in Caliban. I want you to pay attention to the word drives in. Drives in here is, he literally chases them. जैसे कि कोई बैल और गायें हाँकता हुआ अंदर लेके आता है, बिल्कुल वैसे ही एरियल जो है इनविजिबल फॉर्म में, see, he can't be seen, he's like the air, only Prospero can see him. So they are driven in like sheep and cattle on the stage. You can imagine how funny they would be looking. So Alonso consents to the wedding, and Ariel drives in Caliban, Trinculo and Stefano, who look comic and foolish at the same time. So they are perfect pictures of fools. Okay? Prospero tells Ariel that he is now free of servitude. Ultimately, Prospero frees Ariel. He gives Ariel his freedom and bids him farewell with all the affection in his heart. So he always calls Ariel his bird. He calls Ariel with loving names, right? For him to part with Ariel is not an easy thing, because Ariel, as I said, is his vehicle, is his biggest and strongest support on the island. Without Ariel, even the spirits might not listen to Prospero. It will definitely pay off. It will definitely pay off, right? So Prospero tells Ariel that he is now free of servitude and bids him farewell. He promises them good weather. Finally, when everybody is happy, चाय पानी नाश्ता शुरू होने वाला है, ठीक है? तो he promises them good weather, a speedy voyage, and pleasant winds, announcing them that he shall first sail to Naples to wed his daughter, and then return to Milan to take up his kingly duties. Then he shall return to Milan to take up his kingly duties. There is one point which is missing out here, is that he pardons Caliban and leaves the island to Caliban. So obviously when he is not there, who was on the island? Caliban. Caliban was ready to kill to have the island. But in the end, even Caliban repents. So in so many ways, although he is born of a devil and a witch, but he is still better than Antonio and Sebastian, जो कि सिर्फ इसलिए चुप हैं क्योंकि उनको वार्निंग मिली हुई है कि अगर पंगा लिया बेटा तो देख लेना, वो सिर्फ उसी वजह से, and only because of that reason are they in their senses. So Caliban can be given more points than Antonio and Sebastian. Yes. Basically, he says that, yes, I would like to lead a peaceful life and retire to my grave peacefully. So, in the end, that's what he's trying to say. Is there any other point anybody else would like to? Caliban's nature, change in nature is that, yes, his feeling of repentance, as I said, makes him much better than Antonio and Sebastian, who still will have to be dealt with the whip of warning. Okay, so now let's understand the epilogue and why is the epilogue so important. So epilogue was a device. Epilogue एक dramatic device होता था कि, और अभी भी होता है, कि जब स्टेज पर सब लोग आ गए हैं, कर्टन कॉल होने वाला है, फाइनल सीन आ गया है, अब हमको गेस्ट्स को टाटा बाय बाय बोलना है, हमको ऑडियंस को बोलना है अच्छा अब आप घर जाइए, प्ले ख़त्म होने वाला है, तो हम उसको एब्रप्टली तो पर्दा नहीं गिराते ना, कुछ बहुत अच्छा हम प्रेजेंट करते हैं. Now, the epilogue has got some significance. This particular epilogue is a beautiful epilogue because now Prospero is not going to talk to the audience like a powerful magician. He is not going to talk to the audience like I come, I see, I conquer. That kind of an attitude is not his. He will request them to pray. He will request them to clap. He will request them to bless. He will request them for their good wishes. Before the curtain falls, he cannot leave the audience. There is no play without an audience. So they also, दिखाने वाला और देखने वाला दोनों की उतनी अहमियत है. जंगल में मोर नाचा किसी ने ना देखा. अगर जंगल में मोर नाच भी रहा है, कोई देख नहीं रहा है, तो मोर की कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. जब लोग मोर को नाचते हुए देखते हैं तो उसकी खूबसूरती बता सकते हैं. So people who see are also important. Those spectators who have been watching the play also have to be thanked. Can you please explain Ariel's happiness? I am going to talk about Ariel. I love Ariel, so I am not going to let you turn off your channels before we talk about Ariel. It's coming very soon, don't worry. Right. Let me finish the epilogue and then we will go to the character sketches of Prospero, Ferdinand, Caliban, Miranda, Ariel, and yeah, I think I named all of them almost. So, now my charms are all overthrown, and what strength I have's mine own. Which is most faint? Now 'tis true. I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples, let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands, gentle breath yours my sails. With help of your good hands, gentle breath of my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was sought please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending in despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees of faults. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free. All right? You know what? I think it's better to concentrate on what is happening at the moment. When we do Dover Beach, then we shall do Dover Beach. At the moment, let's concentrate on the epilogue. Okay? See, you hardly have any time. अभी तो वो बात हुई कि अच्छा मुझे पिज्जा खाना है, पिज्जा सामने आया, चलो पिज्जा छोड़ो, अच्छा वो खा ले, अच्छा वो खा ले. So there are so many things to worry about. Focus, live in your present, and you will save your time, you will be better prepared. Unless you are already prepared. If you are already prepared, then you can help me. You can really help me. All right, let's understand the epilogue. Now my charms are all overthrown, as he had already declared that he had given up his charms. He has already abjured them, given them up. And what strength I have's mine own. Now I am only an ordinary man, which is most faint. Now 'tis true. He says, which is most faint, I am a weak, ordinary human being without my magic, but that is what I am at the moment. Okay? We shall take that up also, the significance of music. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell on this barely island by your spell. So now he goes on to say that all this while I was on this particular treacherous island, the wilderness of the island, and I had been fighting everything. I needed my spell, my magical powers to hold everything in control and keep myself safe. But now I do not need them. But release me from my bands, gentle breath of yours, my sails. He says, let your good wishes, I want you to release me. He says, unless and until the audience do not give me the permission to move away from this island where I have spent 12 years fighting everything dangerous only on with one armor, and that was my magic. So now I want your good wishes to set me free. Right? And what will set him free? Everybody's clapping. He says, the only thing that will allow me to leave the stage is आपकी तालियां. आपकी तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट मुझको वो ताकत दे पाएगी कि मैं इस स्टेज को छोड़ के जा सकूं. स्टेज क्या है? स्टेज symbolizes the desolation of the island. So he says, as you clap, my ship will gather wind. The sails of my ship will gather wind, and I will be able to move. So, gentle breath of yours, my sails, with the help of your good hands. With the help of your good hands, the more you clap, the more speed my ship will catch. The sails will stand, and the ship will be ready to move out. Gentle breath of yours, my sails must fill, or else my project fails. He says, in case I do not return to my destined Milan, everything I have done here will be in vain. All my efforts will fail. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending in despair, unless I am relieved by prayer. He says that now I want you to pray for me. Pray for a safe voyage back home. So when you travel by ship, then it is called a voyage. When you travel by a plane, it is called a flight. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair unless I am relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. He also begs for forgiveness. In case there have been any faults in his character portrayal or on the stage by anybody, then the audience must forgive. All right? The audience must forgive. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free. The way you beg for forgiveness from Lord and free yourself in the same manner, when you forgive me, you shall set me free. So that brings us to the end of the epilogue. All he is asking here, what is the intent of the epilogue? The intent of the epilogue is to take permission from the audience to now call the curtain down. He asks for their appreciation. He asks for their blessing. He asks for them to clap. He asks for them to forgive if there has been any mistake. And he said, let you pray for yourself and pray for us. So he is asking everybody to end in a prayer. With this, we come to the end of the epilogue. Now, let's move further ahead. What is the significance of Act 5? I have given it here in points, and let us understand it from this point of view. Okay? What is the significance of Act 5? The significance of Act 5 is 1. Reunion. 2. Reconciliation. 3. Forgiveness. And the 4th is freedom. In case you are asked to write the significance of the last act, you will have to cover all these points. Right? Reunion, just everybody starts getting reunited. Boatswain represents everybody that is on the ship. Okay? And the 3 fools over here, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo, they also come in there. But the main people who get reunited are Alonso with Ferdinand, and the 2 kingdoms reunite. Okay? So, if you look at it, Prospero is very far-sighted. Prospero ने ये भी सोच लिया कि जब तक मिरांडा और फर्डिनेंड की शादी नहीं होगी और वो वापस मिलान जाएगा, तो फिर दोनों किंगडम्स की लड़ाई होती रहेगी. इससे अच्छा दोनों किंगडम्स को पहले ही मिला दो, तो लड़ने की कोई गुंजाइश ही नहीं रहेगी. Do you see where his mind is working? Now it is working like a political diplomat. That is why reunion is important. Reconciliation. Reconciliation means acceptance also. When you reconcile to the fact that you have to give space to somebody, that you have to have space for yourself, then you reconcile. Acceptance is like that. Forgiveness. He forgives all his wrongdoers, right from Caliban to Stefano, to Trinculo, to Alonso, to Sebastian. Everybody is forgiven. What does that make Prospero? It makes Prospero the most virtuous, the most powerful person, because he has the heart to forgive. So forgiveness makes his character supreme. Please, you can write this statement. That his ability to forgive just everybody makes his character supreme. Freedom. He grants freedom to all spirits. Caliban and Ariel. He is granted freedom by so many people. He grants freedom to so many people. People or characters, if we may call them. That would be a better word. Then, let's understand more. Prospero. Now, these are important quotes. Many of you had been asking me what should be the most important quotes of the play. So, some important quotes are as follows. Though with their high wrongs I'm stuck to the quick, yet my nobler reason 'gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go, release them, Ariel. This is a very, very important quotation. This particular quotation is going to talk a lot about Prospero's powerful character, Prospero's higher wisdom, and Prospero's good intentions. इसमें उसके 3 इतने बड़े qualities हमको सामने आते हैं, हमारे सामने आते हैं, ठीक है? So, though with their high wrongs, I am stuck to the quick. I am extremely, what do these 2 lines mean? I am extremely angry because I have been extremely annoyed because of their very bad actions, their high wrongs. Stuck to the quick anger, okay? It refers to impulsively becoming angry. Yet my nobler reason, my wisdom, against my fury, much against my anger, forces him. The rarer action is in virtue. This is a very important lines. If you want, you can please just remember these 2 lines. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, since they are remorseful, the soul drift, the soul purpose. What does soul drift mean? Soul purpose of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. I am not angry even a bit. सारा गुस्सा मेरा खत्म हो गया. किस चीज से खत्म हो गया? अब जब उनको रियलाइजेशन हो ही गया है, अब जब वो उनको अपना समझ में आ रहा है कि वो उन्होंने क्या गड़बड़ किया है, तो मैं अब नाराज नहीं हूं. Go release them, Ariel. This is a very important dialogue and the rarer action से लेके frown further तक आप इसको याद कर लीजिए. This will bring out many qualities of Prospero. Then, we are stuff that dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. This particular quotation, you can use, जिस भी quotation में forgiveness की बात आती है उसमें use करोगे, जिसमें reconciliation की बात आती है आप उसमें use करोगे, Prospero के character के बारे में बात आती है तो आप उसमें use करोगे. क्यों? क्योंकि इसमें Prospero के biggest qualities नजर आ रहे हैं, ठीक है? आप उसको multiply use कर सकते हो. Yes, so we are such stuff that dreams are made on. This particular one was spoken to Ferdinand. I'm writing the short form. These were spoken to Ferdinand. When were they spoken? Higher wisdom. It tells us about Prospero's philosophical abilities also. जब वो masquerade, pageant जब खत्म होता है तो सारी spirits हवा में गायब हो जाती हैं. Ceres, Iris, ये लोग सब एकदम कहीं vanish हो जाते हैं. Ferdinand is amazed. He doesn't know what just happened. He says, what happened? Where is everything vanished? That is when Prospero tells him that everything in life is temporary. That we cannot keep thinking that we are here forever. The visions are also temporary and our lives are also temporary. We live as if we live in a sleep. And we are dreaming things that we are living. जो हम जी रहे हैं वो एक्चुअली एक सपना है. और जैसे हमारा जीवन खत्म होता है वैसे ही सपने भी खत्म होते हैं. And vice versa. So this is the higher wisdom that is displayed by Prospero. We are such stuff that dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. We are nothing but sleeping away, and each time we think that everything is ours, everything is in front of us, it is only actually a dream, which is as temporary as our life. Character sketch and time slots learn. because my school teacher is saying that they will show one question of characters. Yes, character sketch is just everything. It is really very important to do character sketch. So why am I teaching you this? This will fit into character sketches also. Caliban. Now let's learn a few important quotes about Caliban. I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me of this island. What does he do? He uses this particular dialogue to convince Stefano that, Stefano, you have to save me from a very powerful magician whose name is Prospero. Prospero has cheated me out of my island. Everything is mine, and now I need to get it back. Life is like a dream. Dream vanishes after some point. After a point. After a certain point. Likewise, our life will also. So the moment our life comes to its end, everything will end. जो हम सब कुछ देख रहे हैं वो तब तक है जब तक हम जिंदा हैं. जैसे ही we go away, nothing will exist for us. And what has he, where has he given the similarity with? The spirits that were celebrating in the mask scene. They vanish, and he says one day we all will also vanish. So, these words are used to convince Stefano that he is the victim and not the bad one. Let's understand a dialogue by Alonso. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. So, ultimately, where does Prospero's efforts come full circle? When the king himself asks for forgiveness. Thy dukedom I resign. He says, I give it up. And do entreat thou. Entreat, beg you. Do beg you. Thou, you. I do entreat thou. Pardon me my wrongs. Please pardon me my wrongdoings. This also you can use. Prospero with Shakespeare. बेटा शेक्सपियर ने तो प्ले लिखा था बच्चे. ये सभी कुछ तो, ये जितना कुछ लिखा हुआ है बेचारे शेक्सपियर ने ही लिखा है. शेक्सपियर ने ही प्रॉस्पेरो जैसे कैरेक्टर को जन्म दिया है ये ड्रामा लिखकर. ओके, राइट. Let's take some more. This is Prospero's opinion about Caliban. A devil, a born devil on nature, on whose nature actually, on whose what am I doing? Yeah. A devil, a born devil on whose nature nurture never stick, on whom my pains humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. So, Prospero defines Caliban's character, all right? He is sick and tired of. What does this tell you? वो परेशान हो चुका है Caliban से, Caliban की बुरी आदतों से. He is sick and tired of Caliban's consistent defiance. He is sick and tired of Caliban's consistent denial. He is sick and tired of Caliban's consistent wickedness. For the epilogue, the teacher told us that there should be similarities between them to show that it is actually Shakespeare who seeks freedom through Prospero. See, you can go into that, yes, but just make a very slight mention. You have to understand, stick to the question. It is, I will come to that also. It is important to tell the examiner that you know something more. But it is also important not to deviate from the point. If you know it, mention it. But do not go into great details, because that will open up a long lecture again. Mention it. Just the way you will mention metaphors, just the way you will mention oxymorons, just the way you will mention similes, or you will mention ironies, okay? In the same manner. Satires. In the same manner, you may refer to them, but do not delve too much on them. All right. So, this is whenever you write Caliban's character, or if the question comes कि भाई Caliban को हमेशा Prospero दबा के ही क्यों रखता था? Why did Prospero always try to control Caliban? Then we can say that these were Prospero's observations, and he was getting to his wits' end. It was very difficult to control Caliban otherwise. A devil, a born devil, on whose nature, nurture caring, never stick, on whom my pains, humanely, all lost, quite lost. So he is dismayed. Dismayed and disappointed, both. Right? Yes, we can say that it was Shakespeare's desire. Put it in very beautiful words. That since it was Shakespeare's, one of his, the last masterpiece that he wrote, so it was his own way of bidding farewell to just everybody he had written for, just everybody he had reached out to through his plays. You can write it in that manner. Why not? One more explanation of what? Okay? One more explanation. In case you're asking me, then I would like you to specify. If you're asking somebody else, well, that person would know. Right, coming now. I received a question yesterday which said that how do we highlight the humor in Shakespeare's play? This is a tragic comedy, okay? This particular play has been called a tragic comedy. A lot of comedy also goes side by side. जैसे जैसे कुछ कुछ होता है वैसे वैसे कॉमेडी भी साथ साथ थोड़ी 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 चलती जाती है. Some of the scenes are actually very comic. Some of the scenes have got a very standardized humor. Now we are paying attention on humor. This is the humor part of Shakespeare. Right. On the ship, the witty, rude. First, where do we see humor first? When the ship is getting out of control and boatswain and the ship crew are trying to control the ship, but वो out of control होए जा रहा है, storm बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, सब लोग इधर उधर भाग रहे होते हैं, and these are the opening scenes. Gonzalo goes up and tries to tell boatswain that he is not doing his job well, that he must do something better to control the ship, and boatswain tells him to, in his own way, he tells him to get lost. He said, ये कोई सभा थोड़ी चला रहे हो, है ना? ये कोई अपने महल में बैठ के सभा नहीं चला रहे हो. This is not your courtroom. This is not a pack of royals. We are dealing with a storm. And if you think you are such a big lord that you can command the storm to stop, please come and command it to stop. If you cannot command it, then please go away and let me do my work. So that is where it all comes. Gonzalo feels very offended and he tells them that this man needs to be hanged. इसको तो फांसी लगा देनी चाहिए क्योंकि ये तो बहुत ही कमबख्त है. He is एक नंबर का nonsense person. So he will not die easily. I am telling you, he is so stubborn, he will not die easily. He will only die when they catch hold of him and they hang him. He shall die only by hanging. That's the only way he will listen. So the first bit of humor comes to us in the midst of the most powerful storm. Not as yet. Thank you so much. Right? Then, more humor. Here I am talking of the humor given to us by this is humor, a little bit standardized humor, because it is happening amongst the courtiers, the lords. Antonio and Sebastian make fun of old Gonzalo, who talks a lot. He has this habit of yapping too much. वो बेचारे बूढ़े हो चुके हैं, and he keeps on talking. So he has become garrulous. One word for old people who talk too much are called garrulous. Okay? Antonio and Sebastian make fun of old Gonzalo, who talks a lot and has strange ideas for ruling a kingdom where all are equal and free to do as they will. So, look at Shakespeare's ability of foresight. आज हम लोग सब एक डेमोक्रेसी में रह रहे हैं जहाँ पे we are free to do as we wish. And he thought of it at that time when there was nothing but monarchy and hierarchy that ruled. And when Gonzalo states this, Shakespeare states it through Gonzalo, and the arrogant and autocratic Sebastian and Antonio make fun of him. But they make fun of him in such a manner that the language they use is actually makes us laugh. Antonio and Sebastian make fun of old Gonzalo, who talks a lot and has strange ideas for ruling a kingdom where all are equal and free to do as they will. Okay? So this is another point. Then, humor and merriment provided by Stefano, Trinculo, and Caliban. This particular humor is different from the humor that the courtiers provide. So, courtiers contribute humor and the servants contribute humor. Okay? More free and garish. How is this humor? This humor is classy. There is some class to it. Okay? It has a certain class. This humor is petty and can be called buffoonery. Okay? So what are they doing? They're drinking, kicking, singing, झूम रहे हैं, नाच रहे हैं, गा रहे हैं, चले जा रहे हैं, थप्पड़ मार रहे हैं, गिरे जा रहे हैं. It is that kind of humor. It makes us laugh, yes, but it is not that classy humor that the nobles provide only by conversation. Here the humor provided by these bunch of fools is a different kind of humor. It can be called low class. Why? Because they are not courtiers. They are not courtiers, whereas they are courtiers. Then, humor again. Three driven in looking like perfect fools. In the last scene, the three, who are the three? Caliban, Trinculo, and Antonio. Caliban, Trinculo, and Stefano. Three are driven into the scene looking like perfect fools. हाँकते हुए लाए जा रहे हैं, as if they were cattle and sheep. They are being thrown onto the stage. And they look like perfect fools. Why do they look foolish? They are hounded, bitten everywhere by spirit form dogs. And what else? You know, the moment they come on scene, everybody is astonished. ये क्या चीज आई है? ये हैं कौन लोग? उनको time लगता है इनको पहचानने में. They are looking so funny. Antonio finds him. Him over here means Caliban. Antonio finds Caliban to be quite a specimen that can fetch a fortune, that can be sold for a lot of money in Milan. So in case he was sold off in Milan, Caliban would definitely fetch a lot of money. He looks like a weird specimen of something they don't know. There is one more piece of humor which you can take note of, which I have not typed out here, and that is the time when they were hunting for clothes. Instead of carrying out the plan, Stefano and Caliban get attracted by the funny, gaudy clothes that had been spread out to distract them. Instead of completing the mission that they were on, they are trying to pull clothes out of each other's hands and trying to dress up themselves so that they are fit enough to be declared as kings and the viceroy. Ashutosh and Radhika, I think you should use some other platform for your very wonderful conversation. Okay? So it's a good thing to interact, but a wrong place to interact at the moment. You are distracting others, so I would really appreciate that you keep your dignity. Right, character sketch of Prospero. Now we are coming to the character sketches. As I had said, we are going to do character sketches also. No study of the play is complete without the character sketches. There are one or two dialogues also. Let me tell you beforehand, one or two dialogues where I shall lead you through, and I was requested to explain them yesterday. I shall be doing that as well. Okay, so character sketch of Prospero. Wise and powerful, he is number one. जब उसके character sketch के points को याद करेंगे तो हम ऐसे points को याद कर सकते हैं और उनके ऊपर elaborate करेंगे. तो automatically Prospero का character sketch हमारे सामने, पूरा character खुल के हमारे सामने आ जाएगा. We already know that Prospero was the exiled king of the kingdom Milan, right? So he is wise and powerful. He is a skilled sorcerer. Sorcerer means magician. You can write magician also. Caring father. He is a very caring father. He is a protective father. So wise and powerful. Number two, he is skilled. Number three, he is a caring father. Number four, he is a protective father. Okay? So he is very, very protective about his daughter. And that is why, वो जब फर्डिनेंड को फाइनली हाँ बोलता है, उससे पहले ठोक बजा के देख लेता है कि भाई ये किसी काम का लड़का है कि नहीं, या मेरी लड़की की जिंदगी बर्बाद करेगा. Right? That kind of a father. He is firm and tough when needed. When need arises, Prospero displays a lot of toughness. He is not easily, he will not back down. He will not get defeated easily. Determined, but not mean. He is focused. He has decided a few goals for himself. He will complete those goals, but there is no meanness. There is no wickedness in his plans. Loving yet firm. How does this come out? How does he deal with Ariel? All the time, Ariel is subjugated to him. But there was a time when Ariel also protests. Ariel protests that you keep on saying you'll free me. When will the time come? Then Prospero takes Ariel by the hook and tells him, listen, don't forget the time when I released you from the tree, from the bark of the tree where Sycorax had trapped you. तुमको Sycorax ने जब tree के trunk के अंदर captivate कर दिया था, हम to die forever, to remain screaming forever, I was the one who released you from there. Now, don't make too much noise. Help me finish my work. If I have said I will set you free, I will set you free. So he is a little firm with Ariel also. In the first humor part, 2 points are from Act 1 and Act 2. We include them as well. Yes, that is the manner in which you can build up, saying that humor and many other things go side by side. All right? It focuses on the tragedy that Prospero had to endure for 12 years, but it also has a lot of humor that brightens up the play. The purpose of humor was to brighten up the play, to give the audience certain relief. Right, let's move ahead. So he is determined, not mean. How do we come to know this? We come to know this the way he deals with the lords. Okay? Then, loving yet firm, the way he deals with Ariel and also his daughter. He does not allow his daughter to go astray at any point of time. He has trained her, taught her, and has always demanded her obedience. Okay? So this is how you can prove that. Now let's talk about the character sketch of Ariel, who is the spirit of the invisible air. Okay? He is the spirit of air. A powerful spirit, the most powerful spirit, the main spirit. We can also call him Prospero's vehicle, the main instrument in Prospero's hand. So, इनकी खूबियां क्या हैं Ariel की? Ariel is obedient. Ariel is happy. Ariel is serviceable. Ariel takes up tasks with happiness and does them very swiftly and very happily. He is always readily at Prospero's service. Okay? Yeah. Very serviceable and efficient, empathetic. Why do we know that he has a lot of empathy? He has a soft heart. We come to know that he has a soft heart when he tells, this is right in the beginning of Act 5. He is the one who tells Prospero that if I was human, then I would definitely have cried to see the condition of the lords. Right? I'm so sorry. When he says, mine would, sir, were I human. I would have definitely cried if I was human. This tells us about the empathetic side of Ariel. Then he longs to be free. His only motivation in all this is to be set free. The only motive for which he works for. He serves Prospero. He knows Prospero is right. That is why he continues to help him. But his ultimate motive is to be set free. Why? He symbolizes the air. हवाओं को किसने बांधा है? But Ariel also needs to be set free. Yes. He is empathetic when he sees the courtiers cry. I'm so sorry for this scuff in my character sketch of Caliban. Let's now talk of Caliban. Caliban is half monster, born of a powerful witch. What is the name of the witch? Sycorax. a witch who was powerful enough to pull the moon. She was so powerful that she could control the moon. But she died, and so left Caliban to be orphaned, left the orphaned Caliban on the desolate island. What Caliban की खूबियां क्या है? Caliban की खूबियां हैं that he is ungrateful. He is wicked. He is untrustworthy. He abhors Prospero. Abhors is another word for hated. He hates Prospero. He is defiant. He loves to defy. He never wants to listen to Prospero. Anything that Prospero will say, he wants to do the exact opposite. Yes. Hag is an old woman. Hag is an old word used to describe an old woman. Just like a talkative old man is called a crank, in the same manner, a bent over old woman is called a hag. Vengeful, he has got a spirit that is full of vengeance. How do we know that? He wants to kill Prospero. He just wants Prospero dead and gone. Repentant, and then conniving. The moment he gets the support of Stefano and Trinculo, he starts to conspire. Conniving, he is a plotting guy. All right? He plots or conspires. Let me use that word. He hatches evil plans. What was another place when he was becoming conniving? When he tried to molest Miranda. Repentant in the end. But towards the end, we find that he also begs for forgiveness and accepts. He does two things in the end. Please take note of them. One, begs forgiveness. He begs for forgiveness. This is the one thing he does. And the second thing that he does is confesses. He confesses his wrongdoings. He tells Prospero that he made a very big mistake by trusting fools like Stefano and Trinculo. Orphaned. Orphaned means जब किसी के पेरेंट्स मर जाते हैं, जब कोई बच्चे बिना सपोर्ट के अकेले हो जाते हैं, यतीम हो जाते हैं, then that is called orphan. अनाथ. अनाथ. Orphaned, मैंने बताया, vengeful, full of revenge, जिनके अंदर बदले की भावना कूट-कूट के भरी होती है. The revengeful people are also called full of vengeance. Then, what else did you want to know from me? Conniving, I told you, conniving means conspirating. जो षड्यंत्र रचने वाले, वो लोग जो कि षड्यंत्र रचते हैं. Okay? Now, let's come to the next. We know, so please, you are going to elaborate on all these points. How many are there for the last time? We will give a little background. So in the background, it will come, who was he born of? Number 2, he was orphaned, but then it starts. He is ungrateful, he is wicked. Wicked when he tries to molest Miranda. Number 5, sorry, he cannot be trusted at all. Number 6, he hates Prospero. Number 7, he is defiant. Defiant means extremely disobedient. Number 8, vengeful. Full of revenge, conniving, full of conspiracy, but in the end, full of repentance. So there are 10 things you can count about. बिल्कुल सर्वगुण संपन्न है कैलिबान. ओके, तो उनके बिना तो ये पूरा प्ले बिल्कुल बोरिंग हो जाएगा. Now let's talk about Ferdinand's character. Okay. Let's talk about Ferdinand's character. Ferdinand is young and strong. We know that he is the heir apparent. Please take note of the word. Heir apparent of Naples. Naples mean he is the heir of the throne. After Alonso, he is the one who will become the king. So he is the heir apparent of Naples. He is the only son that Alonso has. He is young and strong. He is sensitive. How do we know he is young and strong? We know that he is young and strong because he lifts heavy logs and piles them up. He also buffets the people. Saw him last jumping out of the ship and fighting the waves. So he reaches safely on the shore, which tells us that he is young and strong. He is sensitive. When they found him, when Prospero first sees him on the island, then he is grieving the loss of his family and father. Respectful. He is respectful at all times. He is respectful to his father. He is respectful to Miranda. He is respectful to Prospero as well. He is a man of word. He is full of commitment, which means he is trustworthy. He is able to convince Prospero that Prospero can trust him for keeping up the honor and respect of his family and their future. And of course, he is honorable. He is loving and caring. When he sees his father, then he embraces his father with love and begs for forgiveness that he had chosen a bride without the father's permission because he thought that his father was not alive. Right? So he gives everybody the due respect and affection that they must receive. Yes. Now, a paragon of beauty. This is about Miranda. What do we know about Miranda? We learn that Miranda is a paragon of beauty. Paragon of beauty, epitome of beauty. What other word can we use? She is a perfect picture of beauty. All right? That is the first thing. She is the only daughter of Prospero and the only heir apparent of, rightful heir apparent of Milan. Then brought up with utmost care. Prospero has brought her up with utmost care and very good grooming. हमको ये कैसे पता चलता है? Prospero says it to her that you must remember that I raised you with the education that most of the princesses cannot even think of. Ladies and girls of the royal family have not been brought up the way I have personally trained you in so many arts, skills, and studies. So she has been brought up and taken care of very well in terms of nourishment, in terms of education, in terms of good manners. And this all includes good grooming. She is virtuous. Virtuous, full of good qualities. Virtuous का मतलब होता है full of good qualities. She is kind, she is polite, she is She is respectful. All these in her knows her. Although she is an obedient daughter, but that doesn't mean that she is like a donkey. When she sets her mind to have chosen Ferdinand as a future husband, then she says, "Tum pasand karo na karo, I have decided." All right? When two people fall in love, then they do not need anybody's permission. And if she has taken a stand for Ferdinand, she says, "If I cannot marry you, I shall remain there for you." So she says, whether you don't accept me or my father doesn't accept this match, but I have decided. I may not be able to marry you, but I will always remain there for you. Can you hear me now? Is it clear? Yes, non-parallel against means unparalleled or unequaled. Am I audible to you now? Yes, all these things. So, her virtues has got a long list. उसके virtues में बहुत सारे चीज़ें आते हैं. वो empathetic है, वो kind है, वो, you know, she can feel for others. She is loyal. She is loyal to her father, obedient and loyal to her father, and a good companion. So she becomes a good companion to Ferdinand. These are so many things that we can. Is it still not clear? बस एक मिरांडा जैसी लड़की चाहिए, तो फिर फर्डिनेंड जैसा लड़का नहीं काम करेगा, प्रॉस्पेरो जैसा लड़का काम करेगा. ओके, कीप दैट इन माइंड. तो वो बन के दिखाओ, बहुत सारी मिरांडाज आएंगी. ओके. शशांक. Am I clear now? Can you hear me now? Oh, I've turned it on. No, it's on. Yeah. Yeah, it's on. Still no sound? Now also, just check this. Now it's showing perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to go ahead. So we have done so much today, and so much today is like a lot. We've done a lot of it. Can I go on and explain? One or two dialogues that I have been requested to explain? Tell me if there's something you want me to explain to you here. If there is any particular dialogue, then I shall. What are those red hands showing? I mean, I really don't understand. Those red hands look like flowers to me, but I don't understand their meaning. Thank you so much for your encouragement. Okay, I just did the epilogue. I finished the epilogue with you. I did the soliloquy also. So you can always go back and watch it again. Yes, the significance of music. In all this, often you will hear that music has been used. Now we are going to talk on a very, very important topic. Yes, the significance of music. So let me use this page to understand the significance of music. Music is used for these reasons, okay? Creating humor.
formulas को discuss.
So these are the things that you can say that music is used for, okay? Many a times, don't look at him, just pay attention to the board, okay? Just think that there are beautiful flowers popping up and it'll take care of itself. Don't look into the negative. Turn them into tulips. Very soon Holi is coming around the corner. Okay, music is used for creating humor. So what happens? The silly songs that are put up by Trinculo and Caliban, the ditties that are played, those silly songs in a state of drunkenness, those tunes produced by them create humor on the stage. Then they are used for allurement. I use the word allurement. Often Ariel has been seen to create an atmosphere. To create an atmosphere. When we have the mask, then in the mask, music is used again to create an atmosphere of mysticism, an atmosphere of celebration, or an magical atmosphere which will take us to a completely different realm. Okay? Then, what is the other thing? Music again creates an atmosphere of peace. When Prospero needed, towards the end, he requests the spirits that now I am thanking all of you, but please do not stop the music. Let the music play. The music is soothing me. All right? Even when the lords are coming out of their trance, all right? Their trance, their state of being a statue, even then it is soft music produced through the agencies of Ariel that starts to dispel the charm. चार्म डिसॉल्व और इवेपोरेट होके गायब होने लगता है जब म्यूजिक इधर उधर से उनके कानों में पड़ने लगता है, तो वो अपने सेंसेस में वापस आने लगते हैं. ओके, वो म्यूजिक वर्क्स लाइक एन एनेक्डोट इन सो मेनी प्लेसेस. एनेक्डोट क्या होता है? दवाई की तरह काम करता है, ठीक है. और कुछ जगहों में म्यूजिक इस्तेमाल होता है टू ल्योर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एरियल प्लेज म्यूजिक to confuse and to persuade the three foolish characters to follow him. What does he say? When I played my tabor, they followed me like a calf running after its mother. Okay? So, music has been used to guide people. It has been used for allurement and guidance, to guide people. Music has been used to create a calm and peaceful character. Music has been used to create an atmosphere of mystery and dream. A mystical situation which is dream-like. And then, of course, it has been used to create humor. Okay? So, I hope we are done with this. Can I move ahead? Right. Please give me a moment. So, well, now that we are taking care of, आपने pause कर दिया है, ये paused है, अरे, right. So, I hope that has taken care of our red hands and red flags. Let's move on. Can we do, can I take a format of a book review with you? If that will do okay for you? Chat को turn on करना होगा. Chat turn on करनी होगी. Chat needs to be turned. Right. So, please turn on the chat. ठीक. Okay. Okay. Supernatural? Right. I'll go to the supernatural also. Can we quickly do the chat? Sorry, can we quickly do... otherwise, there were many who had requested this. Okay, let me quickly do the supernatural and magical elements, and then I shall come to... Tomorrow we are going to start with ecos, okay? We will do the stories. Again, only 2 days for the stories. We do not have time. Kyunki a day before your board examination, I would like to have a recap of grammar, okay? How to deal with grammar, because you have the first paper as language. Everything is important. Right. So let's talk of the supernatural elements. What are the things that we keep in mind when we write about supernatural elements?
The value one.
That's the first thing to be understood here. The Tempest is built completely on the powerful devices of magic and supernatural elements. They control everything and everyone. Shakespeare has used the machinery, literally the supernatural machinery takes everything and carries everything forward till the time all the goals are completed. And that is when this machinery is put to rest. Okay?
Fly.
So that is what we're talking about. Everything comes under this, we know that. But then, who does Shakespeare promote as the person in control of this machinery? Right? Prospero. All right? Controls. Ariel. Ariel controls sets of spirits. Okay? Together, they control all the elements. All right? Together, they control all the elements. And what are all the elements that they control? Prospero, in his speech of gratitude, in his soliloquy, expresses his deep gratefulness, his thankfulness to all the spirits that had helped him to raise the tempest, that had helped him to create bolts of lightning, that had helped him to do just everything. Okay? The fact that Prospero was able to release Ariel, the fact that Prospero was able to keep Caliban under control by the use of pinches. It all happens with the machinery that comes around magic, mysticism, right? Then what are the supernatural elements? The controlling of people's, those are the things as far as the spirits are concerned. Let's talk about controlling the mind. Controlling the minds of the lords. Right? How does that happen? The lords are dealt with separately and Gonzalo is dealt with separately. So Gonzalo is not dealt with, but Gonzalo suffers with them. However, the lords are made to repent. They are not able to move. Their minds have been taken into a trance. And that has not been done by spirits. That has been done by Prospero. The fact that he is able to conjure. Then let's talk about the mask, okay? The mask scene. What does he do here? The mask scene is for showing approval, and showering blessings. One. And the other thing is to prove that he is a master of sorcery. Okay? He has to show to them that they're not dealing with anybody mean, but they are dealing with something and someone who is very, very powerful. And he uses this in the correct manner. He never misuses it. He uses it to show his approval and to create a magical atmosphere that will remain etched in Miranda and Ferdinand's minds probably forever. Okay? And all this is laid to rest once his mission and goals are accomplished. Also, using the spirits to create hounds like Silver, and there were other names also, very beautiful names that he had given to his hounds. So he creates hounds with them. He creates storms with them. He uses it to help Ariel and many other spirits. He releases them. And setting them free is also a symbol that he is powerful enough to let it go. Okay? Now, can we move on? Can we go back to? Okay. So here, very quickly, let us go through a format of a book review. Okay? Because that is also important. Like every concluding part, I take up a portion of grammar. Just say grammar na chute. Today, let us take up book review. Point number 1. I am reading from your questions. Okay? There are thousands and thousands of books written in this world. Many books in English, many books in many other languages. If you ask me to do a book review on a book I have not read, it will be really very difficult. But I can tell you how to do a book review. वो completely आपकी choice है. Please remember one thing, and remember it very well, that whenever you do a book review, you have to prepare it beforehand. If one book review and one film review, कान खोल के फिर से सुन लीजिए, एक book review और एक film review आपको पहले से तैयार करके रखना पड़ेगा. आप उसको छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं. Even if you take up a book review from a particular site, it will work, but take it up. अब आप किताब पढ़ने तो बैठेंगे नहीं ना. You will not sit down to read a book. But what you can do is that you must prepare for it. Get help from a certain link, a certain site, and do it. Let me tell you what are the important things to put in your book review. First of all, here comes the name. Okay? The name of the book. And this is going to come in bold capital. Also underline it. Very, very important to underline the book review. Okay? Secondly, this has come here on the top. On the side, aligned on the left hand side, first of all comes the name of the author. Okay? Name of the author. Who is the author? Second, number of pages. How many pages does the particular book have? Okay? Number of pages. Price. What is the price of the book? What did the book cost? उसके पीछे ही लिखा होता है price. What is the price of the book? And last of all, जो ये लेफ्ट हैंड अलाइंड हैं, इसमें एक चीज की सेकंड ये थर्ड
वो पिछले साल बोर्ड के एग्जाम दे चुके होंगे.
What is the fourth thing? The fourth thing is going to be the genre. This is not the genre, okay? This is not the genre. This is the genre. Genre का मतलब, what does the book, what is the essence of the book? Is the book historical? Is the book a fiction? Is the book science fiction? Is the book a mystery? Okay? Is the book a biography? Biography माने किसी की आत्मकथा. Autobiography, जब कोई दूसरे की आत्मकथा लिखता है तो वो ऑटोबायोग्राफी होती है. जैसे एना फ्रैंक डायरी जो है वो बायोग्राफी है. ओके? द एना फ्रैंक डायरी इज अ बायोग्राफी. द जंगल बुक will be a fiction. Tom Sawyer is a fiction. Okay? If I write the story of the Rajputana, then it is a historical book. It deals with history. तो आपको ये लिखना पड़ेगा कि ये किस बारे में है. Genre will come here. Let's come now to the content. अब हम content पे आते हैं. Like every other composition, the opening line itself should be very interesting. If you can make it interesting. If you can make it interesting, very good. If you can't make it interesting, at least make it free of grammatical mistakes. Then come your paragraphs. the first opening few lines should talk about what are the things that lured you to, that make this book a little special. Ye kyun special hai? All right? Then you come to the theme. Suppose I talk about, let me take up Tom Sawyer. So Tom Sawyer was written by Mark Twain, okay? This particular book was written by Mark Twain, the number of pages there. And yes, there is one important thing that I have missed here. Let me go back again. One very, very important thing, I'm sorry. First will be author. Who is the author? Number 2, publication. Who published the book? Book ko kisne publish kiya? Then will come number 3, number of pages. And then will come number 4, price. And number 5, genre. Okay? So publication is also very important. Did the Penguins, is it the Penguin publication? Is it the Oxford publication? Which publication house has actually published this book? That publication will also come here. All right. Now we have the name, author, publication, number of pages, price, genre. Ab jaake theek hua. Now, opening line and paragraph. So, opening line and paragraph will tell you that what is it in, that the book, is it a very interesting book? Is it a book that has actually created a storm? Is it a book, what does it talk about? It talks about the historical aspects of something, and it tells us the relevance with the future. It tells us its relevance with the present. Then the theme. Another very important thing, we will talk about the theme. What is the theme? Okay? Now, अगर हम टेम्पेस्ट को लें, टेम्पेस्ट एक सिंगल किताब है, अगर हम उसकी थीम के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो we know very well, the author is William Shakespeare. Genre, drama. It is a drama, tragic comedy. It is a tragedy and a comedy. So that is the genre. Number of pages and all, you can fill it up yourself. आपने कौन सी publication भरी है, आप वो भी लिख सकते हो. Opening dialogue में आपने ये लिख दिया. Theme. We all know the theme. The theme is forgiveness and reconciliation. Okay? Forgiveness and reconciliation. Let us take this as a theme. Then you go to the storyline. फिर आप उसकी राम कहानी बताएंगे. क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ. Okay? End में फिर क्या हुआ. The whole main body should consist a lot about the theme and a lot about the storyline. What is the philosophy behind it? What are the things of wisdom? इससे हमको क्या सीख मिलती है? We learn that forgiveness is better than revenge. We learn that reconciliation and reuniting gives us strength. We learn that it is important to have justice. तो ये इसके lessons हैं. इससे हमने ये lessons सीखे. इस book को लिखने का purpose शायद ये था. Finally, what do we talk about? We talk about recommendation. What do you mean by recommendation? When we talk of recommendation, then we will not just stick on telling us, I like this book, so let us read it. We can also write that this book is a bestseller. This book has won these many prizes. this book has been highly recommended to me by so many people, and therefore I read it. And at the moment, this particular book is very popular. So you can write like that. कि आप क्यों इस बुक को किसी को आगे बताएंगे, अगर बताएंगे तो, ठीक है? Obviously आप बुक रिव्यू उसी का ही लिखेंगे जिस बुक से आप impressed हैं. So you will give reasons for recommending it further. Ma'am, genre will be given in the question. You have, अगर आपको बुक रिव्यू मिला है तो आपको genre लिखना है, ठीक है? मैंने जैसे कि बताया, अगर मैंने बुक रिव्यू आपको पहले से ही तैयार करके रखना है. ये एक ऐसी चीज है जो आपको एग्जामिनेशन में एट रैंडम नहीं आ सकती. आप नहीं सोच सकते कि अच्छा मेरे को टॉपिक मिलेगा, मुझको टॉपिक मिलेगा राइट अ बुक रिव्यू ऑन द 1000 सेटिंग सन्स. अब आप सोचेंगे भाई मैंने तो इस किताब का आज तक नाम ही नहीं सुना. तो ये नहीं होने वाला है. एक बुक रिव्यू आप तैयार करके रखोगे, रट्टे मार लो. एक बुक रिव्यू को, एक फिल्म रिव्यू को ठीक से पढ़ लो एंड प्रैक्टिस कर लो. पिक्चर्स तो आपने देखी ही हैं, ओके? विच एवर वन यू वॉन्ट. योर फेवरेट मूवी कैन बी अ बायोग्राफी, योर फेवरेट मूवी कैन बी science fiction, your favorite movie can be adventure, your favorite movie can be for a social cause, okay? तो अब आप choose कर लो. बहुत सारी pictures हैं. Many of you like English movies, many of you like Hindi movies. You can write on an English movie also, you can write on a Hindi movie also, but a Hindi movie's book review will also be written in English, okay? हिंदी में मत लिखने लग जाना. हिंदी फिल्म हो सकती है, हिंदी फिल्म हो सकती है, पर उसका बुक रिव्यू, उसका फिल्म रिव्यू आप इंग्लिश में ही लिखेंगे. तो अब आप पूछेंगे कि फिल्म रिव्यू में क्या क्या लिखना है? Suppose I write a film, write a film review on Jhansi Ki Rani, okay? It was an old film, and then उसके बहुत सारे remakes भी आए हैं. So it depends which one I want to take exactly. नाम में कोई गड़बड़ नहीं हो सकता. अगर film review है, तो फिर again we will go through a change. For a film review, we will write the name. Suppose I take Sam Bahadur. Here goes Sam Bahadur, right? That is the name of the movie I am going to write about. Here I am going to write who is the director. Who is the director of the movie? Then who is the producer of the movie? Okay? What is the genre of the movie? I'm sorry. Yes. What is the genre of the movie, and then what is the cast? The main cast of the movie. So if I talk of this, I know that the director is Meghna Gulzar. I know that the person is Ronnie Screwvala. Right? Okay, then the genre is a biopic based on the real life of a general. And then who is the main cast? The main role is played by Vicky Kaushal. Okay? So this is all on the side. This will all come on the side. Now let's talk about what will come in the opening paragraph. Suppose this is your opening paragraph. In this opening paragraph, we will talk about a sentence that is impressive. And associated with the movie. Not a particular movie dialogue, but yes, it can talk about something very interesting in the movie. An interesting thing about the movie without telling you कि क्या है. क्योंकि story line आप बाद में देंगे. Then you will talk of the theme around which the movie revolves. Okay? This is another paragraph that comes. Then, once the storyline, what was the story? Okay? Sequence of events. Finally, then the next you're going to write about is philosophical learning or lesson. So the lesson I got from this movie is that the movie taught me, the movie awakened me about the difficulties that are faced, that our ancestors faced when they were trying to bring India into into track with the rest of the world. The kind of challenges that people in the army face, the kind of problems that one can face even when one is at a very, very high position, and a lot of patriotism, a lot of discipline. स्टोरी लाइन में बेटा स्टोरी लिखनी होगी. मान लो मैं इफ आई एम राइटिंग अ स्टोरी ऑन सैम बहादुर द मूवी, देन आई विल हैव टू टेल यू कि पहले ये हुआ, फिर वो हुआ, फिर वो हुआ, फिर वो हुआ, फिर एंड ऐसे की गई मूवी. उसके बाद आई एम गोइंग टू टेल दैट वेल दिस इज वॉट आई लर्न फ्रॉम इट. ये मुझे छू गया, ये बात मुझे हमेशा याद रहेगी. What was your learning? What was your takeaway from it? Last of all, you are going to write why would you suggest the movie to someone? आप इस मूवी को दूसरों को क्यों सजेस्ट करेंगे? क्यों हम कहेंगे कि नहीं भाई आप भी जरूर जाके देखिए? Why would you suggest this to others? Okay? What to do with the number? Okay. All right, you want me to speak in, thank you so much for recommending English back to me. So basically you have to suggest to others. Before the philosophical learning comes the storyline. You have to narrate the story of the movie. The same is in the book. What were the contents of the book? You have to narrate those. The interesting content can always be underlined or highlighted. It is important that you must underline or highlight something that you want the examiner to see. There is one thing I want to tell you when it comes to recommendation. Recommendation, why would you suggest this to others? This should come in your last paragraph. So for a book, what will be the difference in a book and what will be difference in a film? So first let us talk of the common points. The common things, both in a book and a film. What are the common things that will come in the last paragraph? Why? Reasons for telling others to read a book, and here to watch the movie. Why to watch the movie? Okay? How do you rate the book? How do you rate the book? How do you rate the movie? अब इसमें stars मत दे दीजिएगा. Please do not give stars here. Nobody is going to listen to your stars. Nobody is going to read your stars. How would you rate the movie? You would say that I rate it very high. The plot has been set out so well. However, I wish the ending was like this. You can write that also. I don't agree with the ending, although I enjoyed the movie a lot, but I think they could have made the ending a little more interesting. The same you can write for the book. I highly rate the book. I highly recommend it to others, but I wish that this particular character had not died, or the author should have kept this particular character alive. Whatever you want to write here. Then, in the book, you are also going to talk about the price. Talk of the price. You don't need to talk of the price here, but you will talk of the price in the book. How will you talk of the price? You can say that I borrowed the book, but my friend had purchased it at a very high price. It is, so price to aapne pehle likha hi hua, you've already written the price there in the corner. You can also say, I wish I could buy it myself, but I'm thankful I read it. It's too expensive. The book should be made cheaper. Okay? I wish the book can be purchased at lower prices. So you can also talk a little bit about the price if you have the time. And you can also finally say whether the movie is a must. Do you recommend it as a must watch? Bhai kuch bhi karo, whatever you do, you must watch this movie. Do you rate it as a must watch? Do you rate the book as a must read? Should it be read? Well, I'll be closing the lesson today, but tomorrow I shall take up. Today I thought I will take up a bit of, for grammar, I will take up book review and I will take up film review. And yes, we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall do the first 2 chapters that we have in ecos for your prose. And from there, I will take up another portion of grammar. If you want, I shall take up a little bit of transformation sentences tomorrow as well. Today for grammar, we had the reviews in our slot. I hope that made a little bit of sense to you. However, unless and until you do not practice it, you will not be able to do it. Take my advice, mug up if you have to mug it up. Mug up a film review and mug up a book review. You will be happy that you did it. Right. So, as I said, with so many repetitions of Maam, transformation or important phrasal verbs par explain kariye, I shall do that tomorrow for the grammar segment. As I told you, we've already finished with this. I wish you a wonderful day ahead, a lot of learning, a lot of good food, a lot of water, and recommended mental rest. Just a bit. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Till we meet tomorrow. Yes, eco, and ecos. 2 stories for tomorrow.